All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to take a little test. But don't worry, there are no right or wrong answers, no grades, nothing like that. It's just a few questions designed to get us thinking about, well, how we understand life itself.
So let's start with a few dilemmas. On the surface, they seem to have nothing to do with each other. We're talking money, technology, friendship, success. Think of it as a bit of a mental warm-up. First up, the big one. The age-old question, right? Is a big bank account the key to being happy, or is that just a myth? We all have our own take on this, but there might be a much deeper truth just sitting there, waiting for us.
Okay, next, something a bit more modern. These phones in our pockets, they promise to connect us with anyone, anywhere on the planet. But are they really tools for genuine connection? Or are they maybe, just maybe, building invisible walls between us? Now, let's talk about success. From a young age, so many of us are taught that you have to be number one. You have to win. But is life really a zero-sum game? A big race where there's only one winner? Or is there another way to think about achievement? And for our last one, let's talk about friendship. We all love having friends who support us, who have our backs. But what about that one friend? You know, the one who always challenges you, who disagrees, even when it's kind of uncomfortable. Is that a true friend, or are they just stirring up trouble?
So, we have money, tech, success, friendship. They all seem like they belong in totally different boxes, right? But what if they don't? What if they're all connected? Our source for this explainer suggests there is one single, powerful principle that ties all of these together. And once you see it, it can help you answer not just these questions, but 1,000 more. So what is this golden thread? Well, it's a really simple, but honestly pretty profound shift in how we look at the world. It's all about looking past the things in our lives and focusing on the one thing that actually gives them meaning. Us, the person using them. You know, most of us are taught to just label things. Money is either the root of all evil or the source of all good. Technology is either a blessing or it's a curse. But there's a deeper way to see it. What if these things are actually completely neutral? What if they're just tools, waiting for someone to pick them up and give them a purpose? This quote right here, it gets right to the heart of it. I mean, think about a hammer. Is a hammer good or bad? Of course not. It can be used to build a beautiful house, or it can be used to tear something down. The hammer doesn't decide, the user does. And that exact same logic, it applies to almost everything.
So let's give this idea a name, just so we can work with it. Let's call it the user principle. This is the framework we're going to use from here on out. And the most important part is this. The power, and the responsibility, it always lies with the user, never with the tool.
All right, now that we have the user principle in our back pocket, let's circle back to those questions from the beginning. Let's see how the answers start to look a whole lot different.
So, can money bring you happiness? Well, if we look at it through the lens of the user principle, the money itself brings nothing. It's just paper. If your intention is to use it to help someone in need, it builds you up. It helps society. But if the intention is destructive, it leads to total ruin. See? The money is exactly the same. It's the user's intent that creates two totally opposite worlds.
And this same logic applies perfectly to technology. Your phone can be used to strengthen a friendship with a quick message of support. Or that very same device can become a tool for deception, for addiction. The phone itself is totally neutral. It's the intention behind every single tap and swipe that determines everything.
The user principle even reframes what a friend is. You know, a friend who just agrees with everything you do, even when you're clearly making a huge mistake, they aren't actually helping you grow. They're just enabling you. According to this way of thinking, a true friend has a totally different intention. They want to help you improve. They actually use disagreement as a tool to help you get back on course.
Okay, what about that question on success? Our source material has a really strong kind of controversial take on competition. It doesn't see it as a healthy thing. It literally calls it the mindset of a troublemaker. Why? Because the intention behind competition is fundamentally flawed. It says, for me to win, you have to lose. And the source argues that this just goes against our basic human ethic.
I mean, think about it for a second. Did Einstein or Newton see their work as a race against some rival? No way! Their focus was completely internal. They were just driven by this deep curiosity, this desire to figure out how the universe works. Real progress, this idea suggests, doesn't come from beating other people. It comes from elevating yourself through knowledge and discovery. They weren't competing, they were creating.
This principle pops up in the most unexpected places, even something like travel. Is taking a vacation an inherently good thing? Well, not if the intention is just to mindlessly consume. Our source has a great phrase for that. It calls it buying pain. But if your intention is genuine exploration, a real quest for knowledge about history or biology or another culture, then that same trip becomes an amazing tool for personal growth.
So, after seeing this principle play out in all these different areas, what's the big takeaway? It really all boils down to a simple, practical framework that you can literally start using today.
Here it is, a simple 4-step process. First, just identify what you're dealing with. Is it money, a phone, an argument with a friend? Step 2, remind yourself that it's neutral. It isn't good or bad on its own. Now, step 3 is the big one. Analyze the intention behind it, your intention or someone else's. And then finally, step 4, just understand that this intention is what's going to decide the final outcome. That's it. The original source material boils this entire philosophy down to 4 incredibly powerful words: Shin, Wei, Gin, Ben. It translates to something really simple but so profound. The mind is the root. Every single outcome, every bit of joy, and every bit of sorrow, it all springs from the intention that's held in the mind. That's the whole game.
And so that brings us to our final question, one that I'll just leave with you. The next time you face a dilemma, or you find yourself judging something or someone, just pause and ask yourself this. What would change if you looked past the thing, the object, the situation, the words, and focused instead on the intention, the mind, behind it all? If you saw the user and not just the tool, what would you see differently?